last year, I took up an activity I swore I would never do. I took up running. Oh, I know. I always thought I wouldn't run unless something really big and scary was chasing me. However, I wanted my heart and my lungs to be healthier while building muscle mass. And that was the easiest way to do it, was by running. Didn't have to follow an instructor. I just could run. Now, running did do all of that. It increased my lung capacity. I'm able to walk up and down the stairs now without being winded and sounding like an asthmatic cigarette smoker. However, there were so many more benefits to it that I never realized. Like, it cleared my brain. It's hard for me to think and worry or analyze while I am gasping for breath. So it had a lot of other aspects to running that were helpful for me. However, I didn't just start off running a marathon. I did finally run a marathon. I ran my first 5K for school last year. I don't really like running outside, though. I like running on my treadmill, so I don't have to focus on my footing. I don't have to focus on whether I'm going to trip over something, if somebody else is running out here, or look for traffic. I can just focus on one foot in front of the other. And that's where I do a lot of my prayer time, especially for my Sunday school class. But the point of this podcast is not to endorse running or to convince you that that is what you need to do for exercise. However, it is to encourage you that all things are possible through Christ who strengthens you. See, running was never something I ever imagined I'd be able to do. I had knee surgery as a teenager, and my knees not been 100% since then. I have a hip issue from where my hip popped out of socket while giving birth, and there are just other problems in my body that I never thought possible to be able to run. I didn't start out running that 5K. I didn't immediately hop on my treadmill and be able to run for 20 or 30 minutes straight. What I did was downloaded an app, Couch to 5K, and it started you in small intervals. Run for a minute, walk for a minute. Run for a minute, walk for a minute. And then you built from there. So run for 2 minutes, walk for 2 minutes. Run for 3 minutes, walk for 2 minutes. Until eventually the app just said, run. And you run. You run and you run and you run until before you know it, it says, congratulations, you have completed a 5K. Wow. Talk about feeling accomplished. Talk about feeling like you are invincible, like you were able to do the impossible. A lot of times, though, if I would have thought that I could ever run for 20 minutes, I would have been overwhelmed and been like, that's never going to happen. I'm going to quit. But the app allowed me to take it one step at a time. So I know it's the first of the year, and a lot of people think about resolutions, and I don't really make resolutions, but I do make plans of things I want to accomplish. I don't call them resolutions because I don't have to have them finished by the end of the year. A lot of them I want to have accomplished before the end of the year, or a lot of them are going to take longer than, a year. But it's breaking it down into bite-sized pieces that I can measure and celebrate each individual win, and focusing on my wins more than my defeats. See, I am negative in my mindset towards myself. Okay, I have an inner critic, and this inner critic always tells me I'm not good enough, and always tells me I don't measure up, and every time I fail, it really gears up and makes me feel like I can't do it. For example, if I get a B on a paper, most people would be thrilled with the B. My inner critic's like, you could have got an A. Why didn't you get an A? Where did you mess up? But over the years, I've had to allow God to reshape my brain and take that negativity and instead fuel it into positivity. So yeah, I got a B. Okay, why did I get a B? Learn from it, not beat myself up over it, and focus on the fact that I got it accomplished. I finished the paper. I passed. All while all the other things that I accomplished while doing college. Because I am in college, and I'm also a mom and of 7 kids. I'm also a wife. I'm also I help in the local church. I have all of these other responsibilities on me. So if I only focused on what I did wrong, I would never accomplish anything. Whatever it is that you've decided you need to do this year, maybe it's getting better health, maybe it's get closer to God. Whatever it is, break it down into measurable steps. So what does getting healthier look like? Exercise and eating right, obviously, but be even more specific than that. So I want to eat healthier. That means I got to add vegetables to my diet and maybe cut back on my sweets. So this week I'm only going to eat sweets on Saturday, and I'm only going to eat a set amount of sweets. I'm not going to eat until I'm, completely satisfied and my stomach hurts from eating so many sweets. And I'm going to eat in moderation. And I'm going to exercise. Well, put a time limit on it. How are you going to exercise? What are you going to do? Sometimes we get overwhelmed because we look at the end results and not celebrate the little steps along the way. So I told you that I started running. Absolutely finished a 5K, and shortly after that, I started getting shin splints, which is where your shin bones hurt really, really, really bad when you're running. And then my hip popped out of socket shortly after that. So I had to stop running. And now life has picked back up. Okay, that was over the summer when I wasn't doing school. Well, I was doing school. The kids weren't doing school. It was over the summer when I had more time. Now, I don't have that time. I can't run 20 minutes on the treadmill every day. I can't run 20 minutes on the treadmill every other day. Does that mean I give up on running? Do I give up on my health? Do I give up on exercise? No. Instead, I broke it down. Do you know I can run 10 minutes in place while watching my son do math problems? Do you know I can run 10 minutes in place while the kids are finishing up their lunch and cleaning up their messes so we can start back to school? Do you know that I can just take a break from school for a moment to give my mental self a break and a refreshing and run 10 minutes? Do you know if I do that 3 times a day, I've ran 30 minutes? I've ran my 5K, just not all at one time. Don't bite off more than you can chew, okay? Bite off little bites and celebrate those. Celebrate those. When you ate an extra serving of vegetables that you usually wouldn't eat, celebrate. And tomorrow, if you mess up and eat a whole cake, evaluate. Don't beat yourself up. Why did I eat this cake? What was I feeling in this moment? What caused me to do it? And how can I do better? Don't beat yourself up for your failures. Learn from them, evaluate them, and grow from them. But celebrate your successes. When that scale moves down a pound or 1/10 of a pound, celebrate. Pat yourself on the back. Give yourself some positive reinforcement. Why? Because you're going to train your body, your brain, your emotions, your spirituality to work on a new level. You're destroying old habits and forming new ones, but you can't do that if you're overwhelmed by the end result. So today I'm asking you, whatever it is you're wanting to do, whatever that big time goal is, break it down into smaller goals that you can celebrate. And do not beat yourself up when you fall. Instead, pick yourself up and keep going, because you are amazing, you are powerful, and you can do all things through Christ who gives you strength.